In a world where action movies are made, not all action movies are created equal. Only the best make it into the Action Movie Hall of Fame.
Knock, knock. Can you fly, Bobby?
There can be only one.
And action. Hi, I'm Matt Brand.
And I'm Dereck Bordelot, and this week we're coming to you from the United Systems military vessel Auriga.
Yes, let's get back on a spaceship with aliens. What's the worst that could go wrong?
Absolutely.
We haven't learned a single lesson. Welcome back to the Action Movie Hall of Fame, where each episode we do a deep dive on an action movie. And at the end of the episode, we have to decide, we have to agree if the movie belongs in our Action Movie Hall of Fame. In your Action Movie Hall of Fame. Dereck, what movie are we reviewing this week? Reminder, there will be spoilers.
This week's nominee is 1997's Alien Resurrection.
All right, let's go to space.
You gotta help me stop this thing before it gets loose.
It's too late. You can't stop it. It's inevitable.
Not as long as I'm around.
You'll never get out of here alive.
I don't care.
Really? I can make it stop.
Just your classic zombie robot interaction. Totally normal. Just having a regular old conversation.
You love throwing the word zombie around.
Well, they keep showing up. In 1997's Alien Resurrection.
Directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet, who was known for smaller kind of sci-fi fantasy movies, Delicatessen, The City of Lost Children, and Emile, and written by Joss Whedon.
I saw that, yeah.
I was not aware of that. Who before this wrote Toy Story? Did you know he wrote the screenplay for Toy Story?
I didn't know that.
Interesting, huh?
Buffy.
And Buffy the Vampire Slayer, yeah.
And famously bad to people he works with. Awesome. Also, great job of pronouncing the little French je ne sais quoi you put on the director's name.
Thank you very much. Practice all week.
Starring Sigourney Weaver as a zombie Ripley, Winona Ryder as Call, Ron Perlman as Johnner, and Michael Wilcott as Elgin, and a bunch of other people, but I'm not going to list them all.
And this movie had a budget, just keeps going up, budget of $75 million.
Okay.
I think Aliens 3 was 50, and this had a gross worldwide of $161 million. So again, it made money.
It was a mild hit.
Yes. Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave it a 54. Not quite fresh, but almost.
Yeah.
What's fresh? 60?
60, I think.
And the audience score is 39. So
I have to admit, that surprised me.
it seems a little low.
Because I think, wasn't Alien 3 49? It was Harmony with the World.
Yes.
Yeah. So it surprised me that the audience liked this one less, but we'll get into that.
We'll get into that in a second. Just a reminder, we are watching the movie as we talk about it, like it's on dual screens, and
it's great. It's great.
They should be here. It's maybe we'll show you what's happening here someday. But yeah, so we tend to get distracted sometimes, so we'll try to tell you what we're seeing when it happens. Also, just a reminder: rate and review. If you can give us 5 stars, just take a second out of your day, and then the more you do that, the better chance that the more people that listen will be able to let the listeners have votes on this and help us decide what gets into the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
So, Dereck, let's before we get into this movie, let's just take a quick step back to last week. Alien 3 did not make it in. Any final thoughts on that?
No, not really. I listened to the episode this week, kind of in preparation for this one, and we kind of covered it. It's just not exciting. It's not. There's a good movie there.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's just not what we're seeing. It's just a little boring.
Yeah. I would say I watched the original Alien last night just because we've kind of been on this kick.
Yeah.
And just the one takeaway after everything for Alien 3, just it makes me sad that Ripley didn't get a better death.
Right. Yeah.
Just because the movie's not great, and even just the visuals of her dying not great,
No.
and it's just not a great way for her to go out, which may be why this movie was made. But, you know, like, it's just not the same. You know, she's not the same person. She's playing a version of that character. She's not really Ripley.
In this one, you mean Resurrection?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I agree.
We'll get into that later. So yeah, that just that I felt for the character, because, man, when you watch the original and it's just the characters are so amazing, and obviously she's so
They're
good
so
in it.
real. They're
Yeah.
so real. Because it's funny, because I watched it a few weeks ago, and the two mechanics, Parker and can't remember the other guy's name, but like they're genuine people.
Yeah, totally.
And when they die, like I'm upset.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a much better movie.
And it just, like, they got a very, very good actor. I'm forgetting his name, but the guy who's he spends most of the time looking for the cat.
Yeah, one of the mechanic guys. Yeah,
But like he's a very good actor, and he's just kind of like playing the dumb mechanic. Like, there's such a great wealth of actors in that movie.
Yeah.
Just an amazing cast. All right, Derek, let's take a step back.
Let's.
1997. Oh, wow. I forgot what things are like back here. This movie had just come out. Do you remember watching this? What do you think of it? Thoughts?
Here's the thing. This is not that different than Alien 3, but for some reason, Alien 3, I knew it took place in a prison, and I knew what happened at the end. I remember Ripley's swan song, so to speak. This, I know I saw it, but if you had asked me before this week what happens in this movie, I don't know. The only thing I would say is, because it's called Resurrection, I know they bring Ripley and the alien back to life. Like, that's the only thing I knew about this.
Right.
I genuinely remembered nothing.
Yeah, I remember, like, I faintly remember the scene where they're, like, climbing up the ladder, trying to get away after the underwater scene.
Yeah.
But that's it. I mean, that's like a faint memory. Her being grown and all that, like, no, nothing. I don't remember any
I don't
of this.
remember any of it. And it made me scared to watch it, because I was thinking, if I remembered some stuff of Alien 3 and nothing of Resurrection, it must be really bad.
Absolutely.
So I was hesitant.
Okay, Derek, you've been tasked for some reason with describing the plot, and it continues this week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Derek, what is the plot of this movie?
Let's see what we got. Okay. 200 years after Alien 3, a covert division of the United Systems military uses Ripley's and the aliens' DNA to clone them both. And of course, the aliens take over the military installation, and then everybody has to kill them all and prevent them from getting to Earth again.
I don't even understand why they're still putting these aliens on. Like, what in the world made them think that this was going to work?
Well, here's the thing. One thing I do like about this movie is we actually finally see, and they tell us what they will use the aliens for. Urban pacification, which is insane. Like, think about that. Vaccines, alloys, and some other stuff. You know, so it's very quickly said, and it's only said in passing. But I'm like, okay, at least we finally have an idea why they want to keep these killing machines alive. It's not a good reason. But it's there.
Inherent evil. I guess for me, it's not that. It's just what makes them think that they're going to contain them on a ship. Like, we've been down this road before.
Okay,
This keeps happening. I mean,
contain them anywhere. It doesn't matter. Like,
I know, but it's like they have this whole thing is this plan to get these aliens. That's what they're there for, right?
The scientists, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like they have all the tools, they have all the rooms, but you haven't actually planned for it, because
they get out really easily.
Yeah.
Like, very easily.
Exactly. And it just, I don't know. You have to have a better plan. There's never a good plan, and I still kind of put everything through the prism of, like, aliens. It's like that those are specialized Marines, and everyone else that goes to stop them is lesser than that. You know what I mean? So the odds that you're going to make it not great. Also, I didn't understand why they even let this crew on board with them. Like, why did they let this space, like Michael Wilcott?
What do you mean?
The Betty, the crew from the Betty, like,
because they were carrying they got the people, they smuggled the people.
Well, yeah, but they didn't have to let them stay on board, and those two clearly had a relationship. The captain of the
General Perez and Elgin.
Yeah.
I
just, why did they let them on? It seemed like Like, when you have these
just
aliens on
explained it.
board.
They had a relationship. They were clearly, maybe Elgin was in the army, served under him. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that, but it just, he's clearly got a very important mission happening right now.
And
it's-
it is interesting. No,
You're adding a very strange element to the whole thing if
But-
you're the captain of that ship.
and especially since General Perez seemed pretty like he wanted to keep it small. He was like, oh, when there was an anomaly in Ripley's DNA, he was like, oh, I shouldn't worry about this. And
Yeah.
and as soon as an alien got free, he's everybody evacuate. But you're right. Why all the stuff, all his decisions are actually pretty smart, except for that one.
Totally.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't
Quite
think of that.
understand it. Another thing, I mean, this happens way later, but it's just something I wanted to mention. Like, plot-wise, not a huge part of the plot, but the guy that they find partway through who has the alien inside him, like
Yeah,
he was supposed
Purvis. Yeah,
yeah, like why would they even take him? Like it's
it makes no sense.
I felt bad for him. Obviously, his reality comes crashing down quite quickly when
Yeah.
they're describing, like, oh, he's got one in him, and they're talking about him like he's not there.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we going to do with him? We're going to shoot him. Like,
And he's like, "What's in me?"
yeah, that would be horrible, but maybe.
Well, it also
Or I don't know, you leave him, like, it's like, you can't come with us, man.
no, exactly, and especially since the one who wanted him to go was Call, Winona Ryder's character. And before that, she's like, we have to kill them all. We can't let them get to Earth. Oh, but let's just bring one.
That didn't make any sense.
She was the one. Everybody else said, let's leave them.
Why would she have
and now she's switching sides all of a sudden? It made no sense.
Like, what would have made more sense for that character would have been cooler, I hate to say, even though it's pretty dark, but if she just killed him right there. Like, that would be like, okay, she's really serious about this.
Yeah.
She has no patience for
Yeah.
that guy. It's just a straight, I mean, she's a robot, so it should be like a binary thing, like a yes-no kind of thing, you would
Right.
think. Okay. That was the plot. Good job, Derek.
Thank you.
Congratulations on continuing to do work that I don't want to do.
I mean, it's just the weight of the world.
Now,
Ooh. Hello.
it's almost barbecue season,
We're getting there.
but the question is, do we have stakes? I hear the sizzle, but what are the stakes in this movie? Different stakes?
No.
No.
Right? I mean,
Just these stakes?
Just stay alive and keep the alien from getting to Earth. It's the exact same.
Well, that's the thing. It's the same thing over again.
Yeah.
And in that way,
But
not great stakes because we kind of know that, probably not going to end up with the alien on Earth. Probably not going to take over the world.
Probably not, but I do think this movie does a much better job than Alien 3 in gradually picking people off that you kind of care about at least a little bit.
Oh, completely agree.
Yeah. So the stakes are the same, but I do think to a certain extent, they work. There's more tension here than Alien 3 has at any moment, I think.
100%.
So I do think it works. It's not Alien or Aliens, but it's definitely better than the third.
Yeah, I would say, like, overall, I regret, and not regret, but I was, by the end of Alien 3, I was like, it's not great, but if you need a good popcorn movie to watch space aliens kill people, it's like, this is fine.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking about, like, no, this one's much better.
This is much better.
Which surprises me to your point, with the Rotten Tomatoes
Exactly.
score.
Because I think between this and Alien 3, if you take out the hybrid humanoid alien, and just have the regular xenomorphs in this movie, it's a way better movie.
Totally.
Because the humanoid is not a good alien, I don't think.
The one at
The
the
white
end?
the white one.
No.
I mean, you have a xenomorph, which is arguably one of the best monster movies of all, movie monsters of all time.
Yeah.
And then you turn it into that thing with the nose.
And the sad eyes.
Oh my God. It was just poor.
I like the idea of trying to cross a human
Yes.
alien
Oh, yeah.
hybrid and how that might work. But it just wasn't, I mean, first of all, you're never going to top the xenomorph. I think we can agree.
Yeah.
So it's a hard task. I like the idea, but just the execution is not there.
It was really bad. Like it looked
Weird,
like it had
weird
like a
white thing.
beer belly too. Like its belly was kind of like, right? Didn't it? It was
I
kind of
like
like
my aliens ripped. I like my aliens a little swole. Look, there it is. Sorry, I just... This is a good example of we see something that distracts us completely.
Oh yeah. I mean,
It's not great. So
You're right.
what we're talking about is in the last in Alien 3, the 3D or the CGI just killed it.
it's so
And
bad.
Any chance it had was certainly just destroyed by the CGI. This movie much better, but there's just what we're watching there and what we were talking about. There's just a brief instance where there's an alien in a hall and it just killed somebody, and to me, it just doesn't look great. But to be fair, it's like 2 seconds, and it's the only time in the movie because there's some actually good CGI later. I did want to mention about the stakes, going back quickly to the crew, what you said about caring more about these people than the Alien 3. Completely agree. First of all, we get to know these characters a little bit. It's not on the same level as Alien, having watched that last night, and it never will be. But these characters we get to know a little bit. We know their dynamic. You know, we spend enough time with them. You know, like Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
Like some of these people, like
Christy.
Mike Wilcott. Yeah, like the guy who plays. Hold on, I've got it here. I meant to say it in the intro. He is Wincott as Elgin, but best known for his role as Guy of Gisborne, an action movie Hall of Fame inductee film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
That's right. Yes.
Or Prince of or Pot, if you're in a hurry.
He's got a great voice.
Great voice, great face. Like him, Ron Perlman. You have Brad Dourif, the guy who played was it Worm
Wormtongue.
Wormtongue.
I was
from Lord of the Rings. Like
exactly.
Like these three, like those are like late 90s, early 2000s Hall of Fame bad guy character faces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
totally. Even the guy who played at the end, who was going to have the alien come out of him.
Yeah.
He was in 7. He played
Right.
the crazy, one of the crazy guys in 7.
So
like, totally. Yeah. Just familiar faces of the time. And Winona Ryder was huge.
And there was the wheelchair user. Like he's quite animated. He's memorable. You've got Christy, who's like the guns expert. Like we know a little bit about them, and they have a rapport with each other. So, and there's not a million of them.
that helps.
There's like 6 of them.
That
you know
helps.
what I mean? Like there's a tight little crew.
Yeah.
You know, and so for that reason, it's much better.
My mommy always said there were no monsters, no real ones. But there are.
So we open the movie on a military like medical research vessel. How do you say it? Auriga.
Yeah.
We're told there's 42 crew on board, 7 science officers. I don't know why we're told all that, because it doesn't really play into our understanding of how many people are kind of like dying, or the crew. Like,
Yeah, because a lot of them escape.
yeah, and or a bunch of them die trying to escape. So it's like the number's not really relevant, I don't think. They show us what looks like someone being grown in a huge glass tube. Fast forward, we can see it's clearly Ripley being grown in the tube, hence resurrection.
There it is.
So they're operating on her and removing the alien that was part of her. So I guess the idea is they've captured her DNA.
Yeah.
And they're recreating her. But when she died, the alien that was inside her that she was trying to kill has now become part of her DNA. Right? Is that the thinking?
But both. Right? Like her and DNA is in the alien, because the alien is able to reproduce without laying eggs. Right. And then the alien DNA is also in her.
So when they recreate her,
they kind of mix the two.
Yeah. So when they recreate her, they recreate the alien that was inside her that she was trying to get rid of in Alien 3. Totally makes sense. Does it make sense? Does that work?
I mean, it works for. It's a little out there, but I'm fine with it. Like,
I
it doesn't
agree.
bother. It doesn't bother me.
I mean, I was trying to decide, like, is this a crazy concept? But I think in the sci-fi genre, and I think it helps to have just watched Alien 3 before this, just to kind of like be on top of it. Because if I hadn't seen Alien 3 and I jumped to Resurrection, I'd be like, why is there an alien inside her? Like, I wouldn't have remembered that.
Oh, okay. But yeah, like,
I mean, I'm sure they describe it. It's there, but
it's like the year 2500 or something like that. So you're just like, okay, sure. They find a speck of blood and they can recreate a person from there. Fair enough.
So right away, like she like attacks a scientist when she's being operated on. Are we supposed to understand she's like superhuman?
Well, do you want to just talk about her for like the Ripley character in
Sure.
this now?
Might as
Because
well.
because it is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Props for them for going for something different.
Yes.
Like she's clearly animalistic or feral or something because they have to teach her to
Like read
and
what
talk.
basic words are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of what, but she's not like complete. She's almost like a big child, but she also kind of remembers.
Yeah, well, that's the
past.
thing. Like the memory thing.
She has memories.
It has memories. That's why. That's why. I mean, that I found more far fetched than the whole DNA thing, right? Because you wouldn't have memories.
No.
You know what I mean? So I found that bothered me a little bit more than just the cloning thing. But Ripley was going, or Sigourney Weaver was going for something here.
Yeah.
And I got to admit, for me, most of the time, didn't work.
Really?
Yeah. I wasn't crazy about her smelling stuff. Like when she
okay.
would go on the floor and be like, they're close. And you're like... I don't find it that bad. Don't misunderstand me. I preferred the old Ripley is what I'm saying.
Oh, 100%. I appreciate what she's going for though. Like this scene in particular, so we're watching her, she's just kind of being looked over by the scientist. She's just kind of sitting up but I love how the acting she's doing, like with her eyes, she's kind of like darting around like everything's like new. She's trying to take it all in. I thought she really went for it. I mean, I agree what you're saying. Like overall, at the very end, it's like it's a little heavy-handed, doesn't work, but she's working with what she's given.
Like that's what
And so I like that she is having fun with it and going for it. Like I think she's doing a great job, even if it's maybe doesn't work overall. Does that make sense? Like I don't know if it works. I don't know if it works great for the movie, but I think she does a good job conveying whatever that's supposed to be.
Yeah, and that's fine. But I just don't really like it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't disagree with you.
I like it more earlier when she's kind of like trying to figure out like what
so
she's
funny.
doing. But yeah, later on when she's like, you know, it's
dancing with them.
Yeah, it's that all gets a little weird. It's like, how can she really feel them? But at the same time, I almost felt like Ripley this time around. She's like, you know what? I've been on these spaceships with aliens,
Yeah.
and it's scary, and it's always terrifying, and I always make it out in the end. It's like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy it this time.
Might as well, right?
Let's just enjoy the ride.
I saw this week she was asked why she agreed to do a fourth one.
Yeah.
And she said because they drove a dump truck full of money to my house. I mean, respect the honesty.
Incredible. Also, at some point too, after she was in the tube or whatever, but then they have her like actually being like reborn in this like cocoon webbing like thing.
Oh yeah, what was that? That was like is that like the sack that like the babies are in? Like it was so weird.
So I like how this is set up originally too, like that they're going to try to keep the alien a secret from Ripley. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just, I love that dynamic, but it just doesn't hold for very long. Like, I like the idea of there was like a potentially like a cat and mouse thing, but she knows immediately. So that kind of gets thrown out the window. But I don't know. Overall,
my understanding is at the beginning she was supposed to die, basically.
Yeah.
They weren't expecting her to have these, like you said, basically superpowers, like healing, like her scar tissue's healing. She's super strong, fast, bleeds acid.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were expecting to kill her. But yeah, then she finds out, she knows right away that the queen's there.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
But overall, I do like the setup. Like,
yeah.
We know what's going on there. They got to transport these aliens, and yeah.
And there is some good lines, especially at the beginning, like Ripley, she'll breed, you'll die. Like that is...
She's delivering one-liners like Schwarzenegger in this movie. But yeah.
You don't like that one? I like that one.
No, it's not that one, but the more I think about what you said, the more it's like... I think it suffers from she's just going way over the top later. But again, like that's what the movie is. So again, no. I don't want to put any. I want to be clear. I'm not putting any of this on Sigourney Weaver.
Okay, that's fair.
She's acting her ass off. She's just trying her best out there, and
I think yeah.
Okay.
And we are. I just want to point this out because it was one of my favorite scenes in Aliens when we meet the Queen. Mm-hmm. This was nowhere near as iconic as Aliens, but this is a cool shot when the camera's panning over the Queen and she's got that. I don't know, whatever you call that helmet thing that goes, that giant one.
Foil thing.
I thought it was pretty cool. And again, I'm intrigued at this point. I want to know what's going to happen next.
Yeah. Yeah. And just clear, like they have a lot of aliens on board. Like they are.
Oh yeah.
They are crazy about this.
Yeah, they did not think this through.
One thing that had a lot of potential too, and I wish that we got more out of was when they were like doing a mass face hugger scene. Like they had all the eggs opening up with all the people in there, like, and then one person screams. Like I was excited for something crazy to happen, but it doesn't quite reach that level. It's implied, but man, if they showed like 12, 15 people getting face hugged all at the same time, like. It almost went it walked right up to the line, then didn't quite get there.
The chair.
Don't ever touch me. Ever.
You want to tell us what this is?
You want to tell me who you're working for?
What?
Ren, they got nothing to do with this. To do with what?
Do you know what the penalties for terrorist activity are?
No goddamn terrorists in my crew. Call. There's something you want to tell me?
Look, I don't care whether you knew or not. You brought a terrorist on board a military vessel. And as far as I am concerned, you all die with her! Do you understand?
Yeah. I understand.
Just, things can often get out of control on the basketball court,
Oh, yeah.
A lot of arguments start on the basketball court. Alien Resurrection is no different. So we get a big shootout here.
Pretty good fight scene, like action sequence.
Pretty great scene, yeah. I gotta say, it's happened a few times. Christie in this crew, the guy with like the dual gun, like the akimbo guns, like up his sleeves. His name should be Ricochet.
Ricochet for sure.
Like there's no doubt because he's constantly like looking at angles and shooting people by ricocheting bullets and projectiles off of ceilings and just. Why not just call him Ricochet?
Yeah, it's right there.
He's Christie, yeah. If his name's Ricochet, it's a better movie. And I'd remember it. Anyway, so what happens here? So there's a... How does this escalate so quickly? Because they find out that Call is on board and that they call her a terrorist because she's trying to get rid of the aliens.
Yeah, she was gonna. Yeah, because it is technically a government institution, and she was gonna kill Ripley. She wanted to kill Ripley, and then they catch her.
Yeah.
And so then there was just I only wanted to bring that up because some of the camera work in that scene was really good.
Yeah,
Jean-Pierre really knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I think at least the first 40 minutes, hour of this thing, I'm into some of the ideas that he's got. Like the direction is great, as you mentioned. It felt like he was taking a really good stab at this at the beginning. But again, you're working with the premise of Ripley coming back to life, so that's always going to be weird. Like that's always going to be a weird thing. That's I'm talking around it, but it's going to bring the movie down a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
However, things are picking up at this point.
Yeah, this leads right to the alien escape.
So it's great. I mean, first of all, this guy, the tongue worm tongue,
Grima worm tongue. Yeah.
He's the weird scientist. Great job being the creepy scientist guy. He's got like the glass between him and the alien, and he's kind of like making it with it. Kind of. It's so strange. And then it snaps at him, and it's like I actually jumped.
So did I,
because you really don't know if you haven't seen this in forever, which I hadn't since 1997.
I thought for sure that's when he died. I thought
the alien mouth thing was going to come right through the window, but it doesn't.
Totally.
But
Spoiler.
But what happens later when the aliens do escape They attack one of their own. These aliens, man, they're smart.
You brought it up. Do you think, because they knew it had acid for blood?
Yes.
Do you think they actually they didn't realize how acidic it was, or do they just didn't put anything on the floor? Like,
I think Ripley probably left very detailed notes about all
yeah,
of this.
exactly.
And no one ever just bothered to read them. I don't know. They never take her seriously. I don't know why.
But it's funny because in this movie, it seems like she's like part of history. They mention her like Ripley erratic. Like,
everyone knows
she's
her.
like a heroine, you know, like but yet again, they still don't fully believe her because the aliens escape very easily in a very gross way.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do they not? How is there not a contingency for this? If you've decided, like, we're gonna not just bring the alien species back, we're gonna mass produce them.
Yeah.
All while they're on the ship. Like, you could have just taken the egg or whatever home, or even just frozen Ripley and brought her back to wherever you needed the aliens to get to, instead of just doing all this on board. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever. It works out pretty good because everything that happens from the point that the alien gets eaten, it gets ramped up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like, so the aliens attack each other from inside. They use the acid from one of the dead ones to escape.
Yeah.
Which is pretty smart. Of course, the evil scientist guy, Tongueworm, he gets taken out immediately because he goes to look to see what happens. He gets grabbed.
Yeah, then everything escalates really quickly here. Then the military starts evacuating. The people who brought the Betty's crew, just like, we're out of here.
Yeah.
Again, all smart decisions. That's, none of this is like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
But so, yeah, it just, everything turns up to like 11 right now, and it doesn't really slow down that much until the hybrid comes.
Yeah. Now, there's also like, and some cool stuff is happening
Some great
here too,
deaths.
right? Like, the guy, there's like a guard who goes in to check the jail cell where the aliens were.
Yes.
And then while he's in there, the alien goes back into the other side of the glass, and he presses like the big red button that sprays like, what is that? Like
I guess liquid nitrogen, maybe,
like,
or gas nitrogen.
exactly. Thank you for trying to describe what I had in my head. But yeah, it's like it freezes him, and he falls apart into pieces, which looks really good.
It looks really cool. Yeah. The deaths start to multiply now, and most of them are really good.
I mean, there's a mass evacuation coming up here, and people are jumping into pods, and some are getting away. Then there's the one where an alien gets inside. I mean, an alien's going to get into one of those, right?
I loved it, though.
And then I love that the captain has the presence of mind to throw the grenade into the thing, because really,
they're all
dead, but there's an alien hurling to wherever that escape pod's going. Like,
yeah, true. Yeah, exactly.
Which is what they're trying to avoid, I think.
He was, I don't know, was he? Because he was the one who he was talking about the Queen being the big payday, so he wants an alien.
Yeah, but he only gets paid if the one that he's got on board makes it, not if another rogue one gets onto another. Like, if that rogue one just gets onto a different planet, it's just going to destroy that planet. You know what I mean? Which, maybe that's another movie. Anyway, it didn't make it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and then the captain, or the General Perez, has a pretty good death where the alien, you barely see the alien, sneaks up behind him, and then he back of the head, and he grabs a piece of his own brain. And he looks at it.
Tough way to go.
Yeah. I did read that Joss wanted to make this movie a little bit funnier.
Right.
They didn't, but the director is like, no, it's an alien movie. It shouldn't be. So, but there is little bits of humor like that in it.
Ripley has to escape her jail cell as well. I mean, it's silly. I don't quite understand, because she is punching, she's like in a cell. She punches like the steel wall of her cell, and it puts a hole into it eventually. It's like, I could understand that she has these superpowers. I can put that aside. But the idea that she's not at least like ripping up her hand while she's doing it, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just keep punching metal until there's a hole, and then she like rips it apart. It's like,
and then she cuts her hand.
You're strong, but your skin's not. Maybe it is. She's just part alien at this point. I don't know anymore. I did like, though, when she cut her hand. Where I'm going to with all this, I do like that she cut her hand and like kind of rubbed it on the wires, and like the acid in her own blood. short-circuited the door to let her out. Way ridiculous, but I just like that they were playing with the idea of what if she did have like part alien DNA and how she was using that to her advantage in MacGyver-like ways.
It did open like the secret hatch, though. I don't know. It was just weird. Why was that hatch in a prison cell? I don't know. But that's how she gets out.
Michael Wilcott has the floor below him melted, and he like falls through.
Yeah.
Which was to me a little surprising. I thought he would last a little longer as the like leader of that group.
They had to get rid of him so Ripley could take over because he seemed like a smart captain.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So they had to get rid of him somehow.
Great scene where the aliens chasing them after it had killed Elgin, Michael Wilcott, and Wilcott, it doesn't matter. He knows. The guy from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Win.
So yeah, the alien like is like going back to that body.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see this like shotgun
So-
come out from his body.
From the hole in him?
Yeah.
That was really good.
Just, Ripley's taking over. I really enjoyed that. And then that's where the bad CGI comes in, just to have that noted. And then one key thing here, I thought, just towards the end of all this madness, was that we find out there's like 12 of these things, which is like shocking. Like,
Yeah.
we know there's a few, we don't know exactly how many, then they actually put a number on it. And,
Yeah.
and Ripley's also like, well, there's probably going to be more too, because they can, recreate, they can reproduce, obviously.
Yeah. There's a queen here. Yeah.
Gotta say, though, as this movie goes on, like, that's scary to me. But
They're not scared.
but where are they? Like, there's a few aliens throughout all this, but I feel like we see like 5 of them, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, we don't see them all.
We definitely don't see all 12.
Like, they're not ever inundated. Do you know what I mean? Like, if there's 12 of them, they should be all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it should be a little more difficult or so. I don't know. There's an element missing. Like,
There is. There totally is, because this is to me is where this movie and Alien 3 fail. Like, you can attest to this. You watched Alien recently. They are terrified in Alien. Like, when they see that, they're scared. When in Aliens, I mean, like, think of Bill Paxton's character in that. Everybody kind of laughs at him, but he sets the tone for how afraid everybody is. Everybody hears this. Yeah, Ron Perlman's a little bit scared.
Yeah.
But not really. Winona Ryder's totally calm. We find out later why. But like
it's not like all these characters have been watching the Alien movies.
Exactly. But that's the thing, right? They're not like Elgin here. This is the most tension I think built in the whole movie when right before he gets killed.
Yeah.
Walking down that hallway. And it was when he gets dragged under, I don't think I jumped, but I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
But
that felt like more like your classic Aliens.
Exactly.
Attacks. They're just someone by themselves.
Like Ren goes off running by himself, like after he betrays them and stuff.
Yeah.
No, he's not worried. I'm like, you turn a corner, an alien could be there, you're dead. But nobody seems to really feel that.
No.
And if they don't feel it, the viewers, like, we don't feel it.
100%. 100%. Great call by you. Great call by you.
Thank you.
Guess I don't have to tell everyone to take a deep breath.
They say in space, can't hear you. People can't hear you scream. Is that something like that?
No one can hear you scream. Yeah.
Bingo. Thank you for that. Underwater, people still have a hard time hearing you scream. It's more like a gurgle.
It's more of a muffled.
So yeah, I think big strength of this movie, this underwater scene.
Totally.
At some point, they're making their way to the cruise ship, the Betty, and I do love a good swimming underwater scene in a movie.
A good one, yes.
And this is a good one.
This is a very good one.
So mentioned there was some CGI I didn't love earlier, and that's something that really held back Alien 3. However, this underwater scene, I was blown away, very impressed. I was, when those aliens start swimming, you see them faintly in the background, and then when they're underwater, like, this looks really good. I mean,
the underwater explosion,
and not only that, just it's clear that like these actors are really underwater, like swimming around, like Like they're actually.
Oh yeah, no,
do you know what I mean? Like
I read
this
about
isn't-
this. It took 3 weeks to shoot this scene, and Ron Perlman almost drowned.
Oh,
He hit his head and he got knocked out, and one of the divers had to say, like, get him out.
oh my God, that's
Yeah.
that's crazy. Because, yeah, I mean, there's parts where just scenes or shots where there's like 3 or 4 of them underwater together. They're making their way through. It's like you almost take it for granted, but like the coordination of having 4 of your actors underwater together, moving, and staying in character and doing what you have to do. It's like impressive.
It's really, and poor Christy's got another human strapped to his back,
and I love how he's just grabbing the grate on the bottom. Like they're unlike Alien 3. There's just like a lot of little details like that I do appreciate in this movie.
And this is a scene that completely sets itself apart from all the other Alien movies.
Absolutely.
And what's funny is I don't understand why I don't remember this scene.
Yeah.
Like I must have seen this in 97 and then just like, it wasn't good enough to ever watch again. But this scene is really good. And if this scene was bad, like looked really bad, it would be a very, very easy, like this is not going to be in the Action Movie Hall of Fame. This is that scene that you're talking about, I think, that you hang your hat on.
Totally.
And it totally works. And even the end. So towards the end of it, they're swimming up, they see the light, and they have that like membrane over the whole. I loved that. Like just add through another layer, and then they open it, then the eggs are there. Like it just keeps like on top, more tension. It is so good.
It's true. And we're watching now, they're trying to get through the membrane, and that's when the panic sets in, because it's just the thing where you go swimming, and like we all know that feeling of it's like, okay, I'm going back up to the top.
Yeah.
And you get there, and then you can breathe. But that feeling, like they've already been underwater for quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're feeling that, right?
Yes.
And then it's even harder. Like that relief is still pretty far away. They do break through, and you mentioned it, I want to go back to it because I think it's worth mentioning a little bit more. But just when Ron Perlman shoots with that contraption he's got with his thermos that shoots some sort of projectile.
Oh no, I think he has an actual gun at that point by now.
Oh, I thought he was just still using the thermos type thing.
But either way.
Anyway, it shoots a big bullet at him that creates a big explosion. But even just the way that looks traveling through the water.
So good.
Like that, was that real too? It looked like that was a real thing that he shot.
I don't
Instead
know.
of like if that was CGI, it was very impressive. But to me, it looked like he actually shot something.
Right.
It looked very, very good. And then they get out, as you mentioned, they get out of the... Who's getting the face hugged here? Is that Ripley?
That's Ripley, yeah.
Ripley gets face hugged, which seems a little redundant now, you know what I mean? Yeah. She's already gave birth to your mom. It's getting a little weird. The incest stuff with the aliens getting a little weird.
And then we have Ricochet with another.
Right, Ricochet.
And he gets he scores like a 3-pointer, like one goes right in an egg.
Totally. Yeah, they're trying to get out of the well that they're in now, and he shoots these projectiles off the ceiling back onto the eggs. Classic Ricochet. Which is really nice.
Because I love like when they go up they finally get through the membrane, then the face huggers, they go back down, they're stuck between an alien, a xenomorph, and the facehugger.
Yeah.
Like there is no winning right now, and I loved it.
They're making the best of bad decisions.
Yeah.
And then they're going up the ladder. Great stuff where Ricochet gets shot in the face with some a little bit of acid.
Yeah.
And he's climbing up the ladder, and he has to first of all, if your face got shot with acid, you're dead, right?
I think so.
Especially their blood, because it's just gonna we know how it seeps right down through things. It's like that would go right through your brain and stuff pretty
I would
quickly.
think, and I thought about that earlier when Vrees had a drop on his ear. I feel like he has a little mark on his ear, but his ear should be gone.
Yeah.
It should have went all the way through his ear.
And then through his ear, through like his shoulder, and back out through his back or something.
Yeah.
Just a clear path. But
an alien does another Michael Jordan jump though, just like Alien 3, like out of the water onto the ladder.
They don't mess around. They got hops.
They got mad hops.
Which explains how Ripley could dunk earlier.
There you go. There you go.
I do like the thing where Vreese ends up climbing the ladder to hold on, and he's the one. Well, Christie's trying to fight off the alien.
Yes.
I affect you all. No more, man. You folk brave.
It's our Boromir Memorial Award. We give it out to those who sacrifice themselves for the greater good. Christie gives himself up here. He undoes the straps while he's on the ladder, so he falls into the water to save the rest of the crew. Boromir Award?
Absolutely. I have that down. There's no question in my mind. I mean, because they end up killing the alien, but it's strapped to his foot, basically.
Yeah.
So Vreese is going to die. He really just only saves Vreese here, because everybody else could get away.
True.
But it's still a Boromir moment.
And he is, slowing it down for everybody else, too. But, these guys are... I think where I struggle with the stakes in this movie is that this crew is generally not a good group of people, I think, because they're, going on a military thing and, killing a bunch of people.
Yeah, they kidnapped people.
Yeah.
They're humans traffickers.
Yeah, so they're not good people. You know what I mean? So, to me, that's always working against what they're doing.
Yeah.
And, however...
It's kind of... Yeah.
But a scene like this... There's a bit of redemption, or it makes the characters more redeeming because they clearly care about each other.
Yeah, exactly. They may not. We don't know what the economy in the United, the United military systems is, right? We don't know how hard times are. So maybe they do have to result in human trafficking to make their. But yeah, they definitely do. They're a family.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, sorry. In this scene. Ron Perlman does the hanging upside down with dual akimbos.
Yeah.
Dual akimbo, that's a little redundant.
Yeah, that'd be like akimbos. 4.
Yeah. With his feet as well. So we also find out after this that Winona Ryder is a android.
Well, again, I have to admit, when Winona Ryder, wow, got shot, I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. And then when she came back, and I'm like, oh, how did I not know she was a droid?
That's it. I was right there with you, except the only difference was as soon as she got shot, I was like, well, she's not dead. But anytime anyone else gets shot like that, you're like, well, they got body armor on. In any other movie, that's the classic, oh, I already had body armor. But
yeah,
we know she's not going to be wearing body armor. She's not an undercover detective. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, she must be an android. So we find out that's the case. All in all, again, this scene, it's the hang your hat scene. This was really good.
And when Call opens the door, that's a payoff. I was happy. I was like, oh, she's a droid. Awesome. So this is a great scene.
Is that all you got, huh?
Is that all you got?
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 Is that all you got? Is that all you got? Is that all you got? Is that all you got?
Best scene?
I would say this is all Alien Resurrection's got.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the best scene.
Totally. I just felt like it was consensus.
Yeah.
Thought we should just get this out of the way.
Hands down.
Great scene.
Good call. Good call.
Even if you don't want to watch this movie, maybe just check out
it's probably on YouTube.
You only knew the power of the dark side.
I'm a killer. I'm a murdering bastard. You know that?
I expect you to die.
I mean, it can be argued who the villain is in this, but we meet a new villain towards the end that we didn't know was going to be there. And so because Ripley crossed her DNA with the alien, or I guess maybe the alien did it to Ripley, whatever.
Both ways.
Now this queen that she had inside of her now has a womb. So brand new possibilities for the alien universe.
I actually liked that, though. I liked the idea of it.
Yeah. So I guess the bad guy, if we're going to call it this hybrid alien.
Yeah.
So I like the idea. Not sure about the execution. What do you think about this alien that gets birthed?
Well,
this white monstrosity.
Yeah, it starts with Ripley falling down, and then she's basically in the Queen's lair, the pit.
Yes.
And she watches the birthing of it. and that was okay.
Yeah.
I actually really liked how he killed the queen, like just one punch and then the head just explodes.
Yeah.
Not crazy about, I mean, you just came out of that one.
Yeah.
And you're clearly obviously have a cognitive level.
Right.
Why did you think Ripley was your mom? Like
that didn't make any sense either.
That whole thing, I don't get it. I didn't like it. I'm just going to be honest. I didn't like Ripley being that thing's mom. It didn't make sense. There's a generation gap there.
Totally. And how could it like kill its actual mom?
Yeah.
And then not realize that? Yeah, it just a little strange. So that didn't really work. You're right. As for the monster itself,
okay, the monster itself, no,
no.
It's. I don't know. It's too weird looking. I don't find it scary or gross. Whereas the xenomorph is almost both.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing is, the idea is we have the xenomorph, and now we've given it, we've crossed it with human DNA, and now look at this monster.
Yeah, exactly.
Except that should be scarier.
It's got this little lump on its nose that I just laughed at every time I saw it. I'm like, what is that? Is it a pimple?
and you mentioned earlier, kind of like a little bit of like a pot belly,
yeah,
like a little out of shape.
Yeah, he's got
might not be able to dunk.
He's got a gym. Yeah.
Also, like sad eyes, like kind of like a weird sad, like it's like they're trying to humanize it a little bit.
Totally, yeah.
Because it was also kind of making like these baby sounds, like "Oh, you're my mommy," kind of feel.
I have to admit, I didn't like any of the sounds it made. Like the screeching at the end was off-putting, so that worked. But most of the time when it was doing these squeaks, it was, why are you making it try to sound like a woodland creature? Like it's a giant monster.
It just killed like the alpha alien, it should be the alpha, but I'm not more scared of that than the other ones. I mean, I get that it ripped its own mother's face off.
Yeah.
But like, how? Why? Like, what about this makes it better? Like, it's not shown to us. You know what I mean? Like, we're just supposed to understand that it's somehow this super strong thing, but
I think it
needs to be shown somehow.
I think what they were trying to show us, honestly, is that it has hands. Like if you think about the amount of times it focused on its hands,
right?
Like its ability to climb up the walls, but the other aliens could do that.
Yeah.
But it closes one of the doors.
Right.
It's literally crushes a guy's head with its two hands. So they were basically trying to show us that this is a lot more human. It has opposable thumbs. But it doesn't work at all. It just does not work.
I like the idea. I just don't like the execution. There's the idea of crossing the two and what could be made is intriguing, but the payoff is not there. I got to say, sorry.
No,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, because we've been talking a little bit about the other movies, Prometheus, and I feel like that alien at the end that was more humanoid was much better.
Totally agree. And we'll get into Prometheus later this season on the Action Movie Hall of Fame.
There we go.
There it is. Also, I gotta say the ending, how this thing dies. They shoot the window. So it's
with acid. It was Ripley's blood,
right?
Yeah.
So they've created a hole. So then they strap themselves in, or they're holding on to stuff while this alien is getting sucked out of this tiny hole, and it's pretty funny because it's just getting like its guts sucked out. But I don't know if you caught this. I'm going to save it for the top five. Top five.
Okay, I like where this is going.
In fact, I think, are we there? Is it time for our top five?
Well, do we want to talk briefly about the spaceship crashing on Earth, or is that also on your top five?
If you want to mention it quickly, I don't have anything here about it.
Because this whole time, this Auriga is on its way back to Earth because of the emergency systems. And they wait till basically the last second to get on the Betty and leave, and they crash that ship, and it's a massive explosion on Earth. And they do say that it was in an unpopulated area, but that's impossible. Like, the explosion was so big. I think you said it like blew up like half of Africa.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was massive.
Unless, I mean, it was like 1,000 times a nuclear bomb kind of thing. Which, nuclear bombs, pretty bad.
A little bit.
I mean, the only thing I could think was that we are way in the future at this point. Ron Perlman's like, Earth, what a crap hole that is.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I do wonder, like, maybe Earth is just
done.
Yeah. So it doesn't really matter. You know, maybe
Fair
there
enough.
is a scant population left there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Our top 5. It's where we talk about our top 5 favorite things in the movie. Pretty self-explanatory. Derek, what's your number 5?
Number 5. When they break through the membrane and they see all the eggs and the face hugger jumps on Ripley, drags her underwater, she bites off like it's impregnating tool. And it was like, that was good.
Pretty nasty.
That's a good way to get out of there.
Pretty nasty stuff.
Yeah. Okay, number 4. At one point when they're walking through the ship trying to get to the Betty, Ripley comes across a room that has all her like previous versions.
Oh my God.
And they find I think number 7, the one right before her. She's number 8.
Yeah.
And it's just a monstrosity, like deformity. And it begs her to kill, because it's Ripley's face though. And Ripley's face on the bed or whatever says, "Kill me." And she does in the worst way possible.
Oh my God.
She burns it alive.
You are so right about this. Yeah, I totally agree. I had the exact same note in there. It's like, show a compassion.
Totally.
But burn it?
They didn't have any. They had lots of guns, a bullet to the head.
It's like that thing, that version of Ripley. It's like...
They just... I mean,
it's like, hi, please kill me. I've been suffering for God knows how long. It's like... What's a little more extreme suffering before you finally die?
Yeah.
Like, you've been slow suffering. Let's extend that. Let's make it agonizing. Light you on fire while you're alive. I didn't understand. Like, shoot it and then burn everything.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
So, just to the point, we watched Looper not long ago. You said you couldn't kill a future version of yourself. Could you kill rejected... experimental version of yourself?
Yes, one that looked like that. Oh, yes.
Looked a little hellish.
Yeah.
Where are we? Okay,
number 3.
3. Okay.
Okay, when Elgin and General Perez meet and they're like exchanging the money, Perez is just eating a lemon, like straight up eating a lemon.
Perez. I noticed that.
Just. Oh, that's it. He needs his vitamin C, I suppose.
It goes with his whiskey. Yeah.
Okay.
His whiskey cube.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I liked it.
Number
2.
2. What do I have here? Oh yeah, Winona Ryder or Call has like a keychain full of like spit, like a bunch of different people's spit that she's
like spraying
to spray the door. That's like their voice recognition or retinal scan or whatever. Yeah.
Fun.
It's just crazy.
It's a fun little weird thing to throw in there. I'm into it. Yep.
Number 1. Breath recognition.
All right.
Like
closely related to number 2. Okay.
When General Perez does it the first time and it fails, you're just like, that's the dumbest.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's all.
So to be fair, you stole my number 2, so I'm just going to move this one up. It was on the outside looking in, but now it's cracked the top 5. Congratulations. It's just the fact that the Whalen Corporation has been bought by Walmart.
That's right.
Number 4. So when the alarm starts going off, when the aliens, are attacking, when they're escaping, Perez wakes up in the middle of the night, and oh my God, his shoulder hair,
the hairiest,
so hairy. And I'm not body shaming. That's just what this man looks like. But it's clear that the director
wanted to show it off.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
like offset. He's like. The director must have been like, oh, ooh la la. You have quite a lot of shoulder hair. We're gonna get you in a tank top.
Yes.
We're gonna have you wake up in the middle of the night. We're gonna have your shoulder hair glistening in the light. But as ridiculous as what we're saying sounds, I mean, I think it is like a character trait. Like, it's silly, but that's it's showing people's imperfections.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with the shoulder hair, but he's got a lot of it.
I mean, he's like a teddy bear.
And so it's just like, it's just something to grab onto, literally and figuratively. for that character. You know, it's just like little things about what makes these characters real people.
Yeah.
And it's just having crazy shoulder hair. That's a real dude who just happens to have a bunch of shoulder hair. Like, it's silly, but I did like it. I couldn't remember if I gave myself the fanfare or not. The scene where Tongueworm is making out with the alien through the glass. Creepy, but kind of weird. I just appreciate it. Number 2, Ripley dunks. Just crushing it. Using that, alien leaping ability.
DNA.
Okay, so my number 1, I kind of alluded to it earlier. We were talking about that bad alien, like the hybrid alien at the end, and how he dies, or she. So it's getting sucked out of the hole. Things are going a little awry. We see its guts getting sucked out, and it's
the little nubbit. Oh.
He's saying, "Oh no!"
He's saying, "Oh no!" I never noticed that.
I was watching it with the subtitles on, and that thing is like, "Oh no!" No, he's talking, and just a funny thing for him to be saying.
Oh no!
Our awful hybrid monster alien, the thing like the apex predator we're supposed to all be scared of, is getting sucked out of the window, and he's saying, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
Oh crap! That's our top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I will say this, just to what you raised about on Alien 3 about satisfying. That was a little weird, this death, but it was satisfying.
Oh, it is satisfying.
Like his intestines fall out forward first and then get sucked back inside.
Totally. My big thing is just simply, I just love that he's saying, "Oh no, oh no." like
he spilled some milk. Oh no!
Like imagine like the end of the first Alien, and it gets shot into the airlock. Like, oh damn it! Crap! just to the point. Just imagine if these aliens were chatting the whole time.
Yeah.
Best explosion. I mean, I didn't even have one down. We can do it quickly, but I guess we have 2 choices. It would be either the underwater one,
yeah,
or I'm just gonna pick the because it's not even good, but it just the pure scope of it when the spaceship crashes back down on Earth and creates a massive planet-altering explosion.
Yeah, it's probably gonna throw us off its like trajectory.
We'll save Earth from the alien by destroying Earth.
Yeah, knocking it into the sun.
Yeah.
There was another one when the general threw the grenade into the ship, and that one was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm going the underwater one just because it's so different.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Right on,
and it looked good.
And now, Derek, before we get to the most important part of the podcast, we have to do best death. Best death.
There's a few good ones here. The guy getting frozen was really good. The one that you mentioned, Ripley's gun through Elgin's body, shooting the alien dying, I mean, in that one.
Yep.
Purvis when the alien busts out of his chest and busts through the back of Ren's head.
Right.
Like that. That one's so good.
It's really good.
But there's also when Wormtongue, when the super hybrid alien climbs up the thing and Wormtongue's all excited and then it just bites the top half of his head off.
Yeah.
And I think he says, "Oh," like what is?
Oh no.
And then of course the hybrid alien at the end.
Right.
There's like that was
that's pretty good death.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So what do you? I don't know if I missed any here.
I have to go with Purvis. I do like when he uses his stomach because also it's just a nice callback to the original. We know the aliens jump out of the stomach, but we haven't really seen that in a while. You know what I mean? So to see,
yeah, that's true.
So
yeah.
when we know, I mean, when he lines up his head with his stomach, it's like I felt like you kind of know what's coming, and it doesn't disappoint.
No,
there's a little alien coming out of the head.
That was pretty good. Oh, the one that I did forget though. Also, I forget the guy's name, but the security guard who ended up joining the crew with Betty when the hybrid alien, just like he does like a mountain versus the Viper in Game of Thrones. He just crushes his head, and then he was looking at it, or she was just looking at the brains and everything on their hand. That was pretty good. But yeah, I'm going with alien coming out of the chest through the head of Ren.
Also, forgot we mentioned earlier the security guy who got frozen by the gas nitrogen. Pretty impressive. Okay, Dereck, it's the most important part of the podcast. It's the verdict. 1997, Alien Resurrection. Is this movie getting into the Hall of Fame? Dereck, what are your thoughts?
A much better movie than I was expecting. And I actually think this is a really good, it's a pretty good movie. Now, I shouldn't say really good. I was excited, like watching this movie. There's some exciting moments. There's some tension. And as you mentioned, the characters, even though they are bad people, I want them to survive. I'm happy at the end when Johnner, Ron Perlman kisses Vreese. Like, he's so happy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, though, is this an action movie classic? It's a better ending for the Alien trilogy or quadrilogy than Alien 3.
Agreed.
But it's still, for me, no. It's still not there.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, though. It's a good movie. And I'm glad they did do something a little bit different than all the other ones, but it falls short for me.
See, I think, I agree. Not in for me either. I think, first of all, like, where are the aliens? I mentioned it earlier. Like, when we're set up with the stakes, it's like, so for, they tell us how many crew are on board earlier, and they tell us exactly how many aliens that there are. So we should get a better sense of, like, the numbers and where we are and who's being picked off. And it'd be like, even if they were like, okay, well, if we get rid of all the aliens, you know, it's like, okay, we've got 10 of them, or do you know what I mean? Like,
3 down, 7 to go.
Something. It's like, or they got rid of them all, and then, but now the queen just gave birth to this thing, you know? So some of the inherent alien tension that should be there is not there for me.
Yeah.
So, and also, I think also kind of grading this on a curve, because, you know, it's all like expectations. Alien 3 was better than I originally thought because I had very low expectations of it.
Right.
Then I saw this and I had low expectations of this, and this is better than Alien 3. So it's like, oh, this isn't bad, but really, this is not a great movie. It's okay.
Yeah.
It loses steam, and I think what I'm going to find, I'm guessing, is if I like this a lot better than Alien 3, I think down the line in a little bit, probably really going to like Prometheus a lot more than both of these movies, is my guess.
Good chance.
So I'm kind of just hedging my bet in the future that, you know, this movie, I enjoyed it more than I liked, but, you know, it's still only okay.
Yeah.
It starts out okay, it's promising, but it can't.
Doesn't fully deliver.
Doesn't keep up that energy, and again, listen, you're talking about it in the same class of Aliens.
Yeah.
That's the standard. This is nowhere close to it.
And that's the problem. That, like, it suffers from that a little bit, like the comparison factor. But the reality is, these are set in the same world. They're too similar, even though they were trying to do something different here. All 4 of the movies, you know, and the last 2 especially, they're all too similar to the first 2. And because of that, it's like, well, if you want to watch a good Alien movie, watch one of the first 2, because these ones don't give you enough to be like, yeah, you should watch this one instead.
It's true. I'd rather watch one of the first 2, maybe Prometheus, maybe even Life, if I wanted to scratch that itch. Like, I think that movie is better than, as far as getting that alien vibe, than either of these 2 movies, the Resurrection or Alien 3. So there we have it. Not in our Hall of Fame. We're going to come back to this Alien franchise soon.
Much like the franchise, we're going to take a break.
That is a wrap on this week's episode of the Action Movie Hall of Fame. You can visit us on Twitter at ActionMovieHOF or ActionMovieHallOfFame.com.
And please don't forget to rate and review the podcast. Tell your friends and family about how much you enjoy listening to us and our silly conversations to just bring a little levity to your week.
We'll make sure the start of your week is always action-packed with a new episode out every Monday. Dereck, so what movie are we watching next?
Okay, so to break up the Alien versus Top Gun, the 1 week break between Alien episodes and Top Gun episodes, we're doing 2002's Resident Evil.
No real reason.
No reason whatsoever.
But 20-year anniversary, we'll revisit that and see how it all started.
How it holds up, yeah.
All right, until next time, keep fit and have fun.
Thank you.
Happy trails, Hans.
Anara. Court's adjourned.
Get off my plane.
Hasta la vista, baby.